Welcome to the Golfing Dad's Halfway House. This week on the Halfway House, we're going to talk. It's been
Money,
in the news.
money,
It's
go! Oh.
They think the New York Yankees are going to show up at the Ryder Cup, and that's going to be it.
What vital organ can I sell to go to one day of the Ryder Cup?
I don't know that that'll get you enough money.
So, I mean, that's what we're going to talk about tonight, folks. Is we want to talk about the biggest news that's been out, that $750 to go to Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Ryder Cup. Now,
per day.
Yeah, per day, not total, per day. Is that too
$749.51 to be precise?
Just in case you want to know, that is almost $38 million per day in ticket sales.
Like, is it worth it? We're going to discuss tonight. So, Dave, I'm going to ask you first. Would you pay $750 for any sporting event?
I like being married.
Okay, good answer. Good answer. As a golfing dad, that is the best answer that's out there. So let's take it. If you weren't married, is $750 what's worth it?
Look, one of us here has been to the Super Bowl, and won't stop talking about it. I think large sporting events like that. I think because it comes down to corporate things, the everyday fan is not going to be sitting on the 50-yard line at the Super Bowl. They're not going to be, cheering on the 14th green at Bethpage or surrounding the first tee. It's going to be a lot of corporate entities and corporate money with people that are getting tickets, through that. And it's not going to be your average, New York golf fans that populate Bethpage on the weekend that are going to be the rowdy crowd that the U.S. was hoping for and that I think Keegan was banking on. And here they're coming with $750 tickets, and it's to be guys in suits that, could care less about being at the game, but it's a status, feather in their cap that they're like, oh, we got to go to the Ryder Cup. And, they shoot 140 on the weekend.
Well, I mean, let's even talk about this. Like, this is $750 flat rate. This is not a tiered system. Like, I went to the Stanley Cup 1 year in Tampa, and I paid $250 to sit all the way at the top, but I still got in there for $250, and that was about the most I think I would pay for any sporting event to go to.
Yeah.
But there's tiered. So if you are a corporation and you want to buy the seats, or you have the funds to buy up against the ice for those kind of things, that's different. But we're talking about, it doesn't matter where you are. You're just getting into Bethpage for $750.
And it includes some water and some
it should have been the greatest home field advantage in Ryder Cup history at Bethpage in New York, and they're ruining it.
Well, and Dave, I'll agree with that. I think the PGA of America does a great job screwing up home field advantage for us in the Ryder Cup to begin with. And that's just my 2 cents. When I look at what the DP World Tour does, they take stops that are on the DP World Tour and they make it a place that the players are already familiar with, whether it's Italy with Marco Siome, or whether they go to France and they play Golf National. Those are all spots on the European Tour. Belfry, spot on the European Tour. When you look at what the DP World Tour does, they go to places they are familiar with. The PGA of America does a great job finding golf courses that you would host major championships at, that these guys aren't used to seeing. They trick it out. They set it up. So we don't have that home field advantage. We don't have that familiarity with the golf course. But when you look at what, and you said it, yes, I've been to the Super Bowl. Face value on the ticket of the game that I went to was $800. Now, our tickets were comped, guests of the NFL. Would I have paid $800 for the seat that I was in? No, absolutely not.
Yeah, and that's a big thing about this is that
And that ticket right now, I think, is like $2,000, by the way, if you want those tickets.
Exactly, but you were the Super Bowl is a one day event that I understand if your team's playing, that's a whole different issue that's there. I mean, I've been to major championships before. I've been to the World Series. Um, I've been to the Stanley Cup. I haven't been to the NBA or the NFL. But I've been to the majors in golf. Those are major events that are once a year for this. This Ryder Cup is every 2 years, but it's a select field. These players aren't getting paid for this. We saw that in Hatgate last year.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest. At this point, if I'm Pat, I'm not wearing a hat.
Yeah.
This is a money grab for the PGA. This is a straight money grab. It's all this is. And if they want to try and justify it and say, oh, well, we're in a high-end market, it's an expensive market, you're getting a golf course that charges for locals, any New York resident, $80 on the weekend to play, $65 during the week. Go pound sand. It's an expensive market. What are they charging you for that golf course? Are they charging you? Are they charging you what is the equivalent of $1,000 a foursome out there? Like, come on, stop, guys.
Like you're outpricing the normal American here. Like that's the thing. If you want the rowdy fans, if you want that, like the corporate fans are not going to be that. The people that want to be there, like price it for the fans. It can still be expensive. I'm not saying, but $750. Come on.
You want Waste Management fans lining the court at Bethpage for the Ryder Cup.
100%.
That's what you want.
You want that.
I mean, we've been looking forward to this since they announced it was going to be at Bethpage, and like when the U.S. Open was at Bethpage, and they were all counting Sergio's waggles. Like that was what I wanted to see at the Ryder Cup. I wanted to see him getting Sergio's. Like I want Waste Management attitude there because that's what we get when we go over to Europe.
Exactly, and I'm on the wait list for these tickets, and I'm not going to pay $750. I'm not going to pay $225 for a Monday. Like so.
Well, here's the funny thing. Do you know what tickets were at Marco in Italy last year?
260 euro.
273 American dollars.
Yeah,
and
I think that's a top out range. I don't think you go over that.
Yeah, right. No. There's your
I think that is. I think that
you go to 300, maybe you go to 300, maybe, and you include there's free water and soda on the golf course. It's 300.
Yeah.
If you go to that, I would have thought, okay, I can justify that. I can't justify $750. So, Steve, I put together a comparison here. We all used to work for a company that everyone complained about the prices to go to this place, and
people still complain about the prices to go to this place.
Do. And I think for what you get in the value and return on investment is a big thing. So when you're spending money as someone who's in customer service, I think you should get what you pay for. Like, I don't think you're going to get that at the Ryder Cup. But if in September I was looking at, should I go to the Ryder Cup and pay for all of that and expenses and travel and all of that? Or should I take my family to Disney World? What would the cost of me going alone to Disney World versus me going alone to the Ryder Cup, if I'm paying for that, what would be the difference, I wondered. I looked this up this evening. I know you're pulling it up. Just give me, you got a second. I looked this up. I ran the numbers. What I did here is I went to one of the trip sites where you could package stuff together. I looked at what a package would cost to go to New York City. That was a flight, a hotel, and a car. I did the same thing for Orlando, Florida. So this is planning your September 2025. So the first slide. So Steve, if you want to go to the next slide on here. This is New York.
That's not.
This is just I think you got to scroll down there.
We put our technology expert on these slides.
I don't think you did it right, Steve. So I'm just gonna read the.
Okay, it's not letting me change the page.
So here's the numbers that I got on here.
Do I need to pull it up and go over?
No, I got it. I just got to pull it up here. So here's the numbers that I got for you. So if you're going to New York City, okay, New York City,
Right.
the cheapest travel package. Now this travel package, which is staying in a hostel in New York City, a flight and a rental car. So a hostel would cost you $1,010 was the cheapest package I found for a week in September. Okay.
Okay.
You add on top of that the Ryder Cup ticket. So if I went to all 7 days at the Ryder Cup, because I'm saying this is a week and I'm staying the whole thing, that would cost you $3,610 for one person for 7 days, just for the tickets to the Ryder Cup. Now,
I just want
You haven't eaten yet.
hold on.
But can I put that in, Greg? Can I put that in perspective? I'm going to cut you off.
I'm about to do
No,
that.
I just want to put it in perspective.
Steve,
a week-long pass at
Steve,
the U.S.
stop.
Open. Okay.
So what I'm doing here is I'm comparing this to Orlando, Florida. In Orlando,
Right.
Florida, if I was staying at the cheapest hotel at Disney World, I'm staying a 3.5-star hotel. So I added that to New York, and that took my price up to $1,630. So $1,630 for a hotel for 7 nights, a rental car, and a flight. Grand total comes to $5,240 just to get me there and have tickets to the events. Okay. So Steve, what were we going to say about the U.S. Open?
U.S. Open week-long pass is $800.
So this is more than 3 times that.
Right.
So it's 3.5 times that. So I went, okay, what if I go to Orlando? And I'm going to the happiest place on earth. And the cheapest I found was staying in a pretty cheap hotel in Orlando. Off-site, not staying on property. So I'd have to get a rental car and everything. The cheapest package I found was, didn't even put that into it. Didn't even put into pay for parking yet. But the cheapest package I found just with a hotel and a flight and a rental car was $981 for 7 days. So right there, I can stay in a hotel, not a hostel, and I'm still saving money. But if I'm going to compare this to a 3-star hotel in New York City, and I'm going to stay at the All-Star Resort in Orlando, which is on property, so I don't need the car. I just need the flight. The flight was going to cost $351 from here to go to Orlando. That puts my flight at $351, my hotel at $1,195 for 7 days in September, based on rates right now. If I get a 7-day park hopper, if I get a 7-day one park ticket where I can't park, I just go to a different park for 7 days, that's $572. If I upgrade that to the Park Hopper Plus, so I can park hop all I want, plus I get 9 holes of golf with this.
Or is it foot golf?
No, it's either. You can choose, but you get 9 holes of regular golf with this for $677 for 7 days. That would only cost me, with flight, hotel, and the 7-day ticket, $2,223. So if you're telling me, I didn't do that math in my head. If you want to do that on your own, do that on your own.
About $3,200.
Yeah.
So if you're telling me that one thing's expensive, this is making this outrageously expensive now. A trip to Disney seems cheap, so tell your family right now, hey, I could have gone to the Ryder Cup, but I chose to spend this money on you.
Now, here's the thing. You could get on a Disney boat for about the same price and have all your meals included.
There's so many options here that gets you so much more return on investment. Like, here's the thing. You might not be a fan of Disney, but I get a full day there. I'm not just watching 3 or 4 groups play golf and then I'm out of that and then have to go find food and do all this other stuff. I can spend all day in the park. And I can play 9 holes of golf. Yeah, and I can play 9 holes of golf.
On Friday and Saturday, they're going to sell. On Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they're going to sell 50,000 tickets each day to the Ryder Cup. There's only 4 matches going on at once, which means you're going to have, if you do the quick math, 12-5 around every hole.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm going to say this. You've got 4 holes in 6, at that point, 16 guys on the golf course?
And if you're sitting on if you're sitting on 18, there's a chance that you don't get to see any golf.
Correct.
Well, and that's the thing. You're not sitting around for this because those 4 matches are the 4 holes consecutive right in a row. So you're just right there watching and then moving with it.
It's an amoeba moving with the gallery. So you literally just moving hole by hole, or you go to a hole, you watch some golf, and you move a few holes ahead. The problem that you have is that, and we've talked about this, and the rules of the tavern, someone's going to say drink. We go to the Masters,
the halfway house.
Right? But on the tavern, the rules, the drinking rules. We went to the Masters last year. There were 90 players on the golf course on a practice round playing at Augusta National. You had tickets were $100. They included parking. You walked right in. You got out of your car. There wasn't a weed in the parking lot, and you walked right in, and you walked into Augusta National to the nicest people on the entire planet. You go to the Ryder Cup, you're paying $750. You're parking 30 minutes away at Jones Beach. Which may not be a bad setup. And I'm not arguing the setup in this. It works out. But now you've got to plan in the 30-minute bus ride. And if it's anything like the Solheim Cup, are they going to have enough buses in the morning to get everybody there the first day? Shots fired. Let's hope so. But and I would hope that we've done enough events at Bethpage that they have learned what they need to do and where they need to be for this. But I just struggle with the idea that if you're going to charge this much, and we've talked about this on this show, golf is at a point, and I had a conversation with a golf CEO 2 weeks ago, just before the storm here. And he was talking about this year in 2024, the only 2 markets in the golf industry that have grown in sales are golf balls and golf bags. Everything else is shrinking by 15 to 20%. Whether it's shoes, equipment, everything else across the board, all of that is shrinking by 15 to 20%. Well, why is it shrinking by 15 to 20%? Because we're charging $750 for tickets to the Ryder Cup. Are you kidding me? Like, you can't continue to charge these prices that people are going to do, and people aren't going to pay for them or afford them. They can't.
Well, and the other thing that you talked about with the Masters, and Dave, you won the lottery for the Masters the last time. I won it this year and get to go to the upcoming one. And when you win the lottery for the Masters, you're guaranteed a ticket, and you're told the price up front, and you pay that. The Ryder Cup, when you put your name in, if you win the lottery, you're guaranteed to get into a line to get tickets, but that doesn't even.
And you may not even make it through the line.
Yeah, like I waited in the last one, and that was before COVID. Like, and I never got tickets there, but I won the lottery to get into it. Like, they need to work on that. That's what makes Augusta so much more magical, is that I want to go there. I have to win this lottery. If I do, I get it, I pay, and I go. And I don't pay an exorbitant amount. I pay a reasonable price. And my return on investment for those memories and what I experienced there is so much better than what the Ryder Cup's going to give me.
And and Augusta doesn't charge $20 a beer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, I think you're lowballing $20 beers. They're going to be $25 beers. This is going to be easy $25 beers.
It's getting out of hand with some of these things. Like, I get you want to make the most for your money. You have a product, and my dad used to always say this, is only worth as much as someone's willing to pay for it. And if people are going to pay for this, go for it. But don't price out the average American for this American home event. Stop doing that. Like, if you want to have corporate things. Well, no, if you can have corporate tickets that are a higher price, that get more, that get the corporations that maybe pay for sponsorship, I'm all for that. But have a reasonable price ticket for the average Joe that wants to take his kid to experience this, because as golfing dads, we want to take our kids to experience these events. Don't outprice them.
No.
That's all we're saying.
And I think that's one of the greatest things about some, tour events is kids get in free.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you're doing things right on the tour. You're doing things right with these events. Please just think about this. I'm hoping that you just put this number out there to see what the reaction was and be like, oh, well, people pay it. And you're seeing the reactions that we're seeing out there that, people are not going to pay this. So corporations you'll make your money. That's fine.
I think
but you're not having the true fans there.
Yeah. No, and that's going to be the bigger issue, is that we've all looked at this. In the minute they announced it, I circled this date on the calendar and was like, man, this is going to be unbelievable. Between the New York fans, and you get them out there, and it's going to be rowdy. It's going to be raucous. It's going to be Waste Management on 16 all over again. And then you will have such a home partisan crowd, and it's going to be unbelievable. It's going to be, Fenway Park, Yankee Stadium all over again, the Boston Garden. It's going to be the Madison Square Garden for that home crowd. It's not even going to be close to that at this point. It's going to be a bunch of corporate bigwigs that golf clap and
hopefully they
drinking,
give the tickets out to fans like that. They give that
giving scotch and
stuff.
drinking scotch while they're watching golf, and not that it's a bad thing, but it's just a bad idea. It really truly is.
Bring golf back to the fans. You want the fans there. You do this for the fans. If I'm a player in the Ryder Cup, if I'm Keegan Bradley right now, I want to hear what Keegan has to say. Hey, we want fans there. Don't charge $750. That's ridiculous. And especially if they're not getting paid as players and you're charging $750, I'd be pissed.
Did you hear what the PGA said as to why?
No. Because
they got asked already. Their response was, well, it's an expensive market.
That's not a good response.
No.
Yeah.
No.
If your cost is that high to go there, know your fans, know what you want to charge, and then maybe that market's out of question, and you don't play at Bethpage, which I'm not saying for Bethpage because I don't think this is their doing. But
no.
Look at it reasonably to get your fans there, because the fans want to go. That's who you play golf for. That's who you play sports for. Remember that. The fans, I took my son to an NBA preseason game last night, and he had a blast at that game. He's 3 and he loves it. He was asking about Tyrese Halliburton the whole time we were there. And it's great to see that through a dad's eye, that your son enjoys those type of things. The kids that see Caitlin Clark, I'm really pumping Indiana basketball here right now. The kids that see Caitlin Clark this season have been amazing, and that's been an amazing thing to watch that grow for these kids. $750, that doesn't grow the game for these kids, and this is an amazing event for that.
Well, and it's one of the things we've talked about on here. And Dave, I want you to answer this. How does this grow the game?
Downward.
Financially.
It can't. There is no logical explanation on how $750 grows the game. You're getting paid by NBC and CBS, or who's ever carrying the Ryder Cup. You're bringing in, wheelbarrow after wheelbarrow of money from TV ratings on all this. You don't need, you don't need $750 times you're trying to sell 50,000 tickets. That won't happen.
Well, and we talk about TV ratings. We talk about
what's down.
What's the biggest complaint in golf right now, though? TV coverage. Commercials.
Here's a shot. Here's a shot, and then here's 6 minutes of commercials. We're going to come back, and there are going to be 3 holes down the road.
You're forcing me to watch it, and then you're doing that anyway. So
yeah,
I want to watch the events. So with that, this is going to be a topic for a while. Let us know what you think in the comments about this.
Yeah.
Let us know what you would do, what you would price it at, what would be the price that you would pay to go to this event. Because remember, I'm going to pay return on investment for that. I want to pay what I think is right. And a bigger event like this that only comes around every 2 years charges more, but this is a lot extra than I think you're getting.
And let us know, are you going to Disney World or are you going to the Ryder Cup?
I'm going to Disneyland Paris.
Wow, Dave's the $750 guy. So
yeah, exactly.
All right, folks. Thank you. Check out our other show live on Tuesday, the Golfing Dad's Tavern, and keep checking out the Halfway House. Let us know what you want us to talk about. Remember, this is not always golf. We will talk sports here. We will talk fun topics. We talked best college football.
It's what we talk on the golf course with each other.
Exactly. Cheers, everybody.
Deuces.
I'm really fortunate, man. I mean, I've been able to build something that's
was commenting about playing Whistling Straits